One of the biggest surprises from E3 this year was Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Not that it existed, mind you, we knew that before thanks to a bunch of leaks.
What was surprising was the reveal that it was an XCOM-like strategy game. For everything Mario and Rabbids, make sure you're subscribed and you can head to GameSpot for everything you need to know about your Nintendo Switch.
You certainly can, but for now, we've had a bit of time with the Ubisoft invasion of the Mushroom Kingdom, and here's 5 things we think you should know. Mario plus Rabbids is not XCOM Lite, it's hardcore turn-based strategy. Let's get this one out of the way early. Yes, Mario plus Rabbids plays a lot like XCOM. Anyone who's familiar with Firaxis's tactical turn-based Alien Invasion series will feel right at home when they pick up the Switch controller. The parallels are something the devs anticipated too, which led them to increase the game's difficulty. Like XCOM, you have to think carefully about team makeup and how you want to engage, because the titular battles for the kingdom are not messing around. In Mario plus Rabbids, teams are made up of 3 characters. Mario is mandatory, and so is at least one Rabbid. The third slot can be filled with whomever you choose, be it Rabbid Yoshi and his machine gun, or Princess Peach for her area of effect healing. During our preview session, we saw more than one fellow player throw their hands up in exasperation as they failed their 3rd try at a particularly tricky fight. You'll need to take cover, plan your movements, and rely on team abilities such as the team jump, which allows a member of your team to be catapulted across the map if you are to succeed. Unlike XCOM, members of your team can attack, move, and use an ability in any order without ending your turn, and you won't have to contend with permadeath.
Your weapon choices are varied and change your combat style. You may remember when Ubisoft won E3 2017 by having CEO Yves Guillemot and Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto pose back-to-back while holding replica Mario plus Rabbids blasters on stage at their conference. Turns out those blasters are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to banishing those pesky Rabbids from the Mushroom Kingdom. Each character can opt to use either their primary or secondary weapon during their turn. That could include Mario's blaster and mallet combo, or Luigi's long-range vacuum blaster and robotic sentry bomb. Each of these weapons have different attack and cooldown stats, as well as status effects that you should take into account before running headlong into battle. For instance, weapons with a honey status effect have a chance to hold enemies in place for a turn, while the ink status will cancel an enemy's attacks. The bounce effect proved to be the most valuable, but be warned, it can be both a blessing and a curse. While sometimes a successful bounce shot will send a particularly strong Rabbid bouncing erratically out of bounds for extra damage, there's also a chance that it will bounce your enemies into a more advantageous position for their turn, or your allies into danger. Similarly, weapons with an area of effect, such as robotic sentry bombs and throwable explosives, have a chance of damaging your teammates. On more than one occasion, my ill-planned sentry robot sent Mario flying out of bounds to his doom.
Planning your team makeup and battle strategy is essential. So you've got a handful of characters with only 3 slots to fill, a variety of weapons to choose from, and a veritable crap ton of abilities to assign to whomever you choose to fill out your party. Your next step is making all those work together to complement one another, just like you would in any other team-based strategy game. You can chain together useful abilities from one character to the next, like super jumps, tackles, and AoE buffs to help yourself get a big boost on the battleground. So making sure your team makeup allows that is essential. Figure out whether you're going for speed, mass destruction, or staying well out of the enemy's line of sight. You'll then want to factor in the health of each of your prospective teammates, their special skills, which could include anything from healing to Mario and Rabbids' version of XCOM's Overwatch, which allows your character to take a shot at a moving enemy outside of your turn. Depending on how you balance your team, you could have a fairly easy time or a very, very hard one. Also, if you elect to put Rabbid Peach and her healing skill in your party, try not to have her die early. It does not make for a good time.
Tactical view is super useful. Your first step is to factor in the kind of mission you're playing. Some victory conditions require you to defeat all the nasty Rabbids on the battlefield, while others just call for you to reach a certain area of the map with at least one of your trio still standing. It's trickier than it sounds when you deal with enemies who can teleport you or blast you to smithereens if you leave a teammate out in the open. At the beginning of each encounter, you'll have the opportunity to access the tactical view. This is a super handy feature where you can view the entire battleground and find the best route to the end goal by figuring out where the best cover is, where your foes are spawning, and other environmental factors that might deter your progress, like warp pipes which let faraway enemies run all the way up to you in one turn, or threatening boos who teleport you all over the damn map when you are this far from the end zone. Oh man, those ghosts. Later in the engagement, you'll more than likely need to contend with cover that's been demolished while you were standing behind it too. The tactical view also lets you scan foes, so you can discover their attack and defense attributes, as well as their abilities, which should help you decide on the best way to defeat them. My best advice for getting by in these battles is to take your time. There is no time limit, so your route through any given map will be as successful as the choices you make from turn to turn. Because of all the different abilities, there are also lots of different ways to succeed, and trying out new options and combos, it's pretty fun.
Co-op is really fun, and also incredibly difficult. Unfortunately, Mario plus Rabbids doesn't feature a co-op campaign, but it does have a great local co-op mode. Instead of a 3-character team from the main game, you and your partner will get a 2-character team each. If you want Princess Peach to fight alongside her rabid superfan, you can. Once you've decided on who's who, you can choose the map and game type and get stuck into strategizing. Just like in the campaign, turns can be made in any order and teams can swap out depending on strategy. It's also a really great way to lose friends if you're the competitive sort and aren't 100% agreed on how you're going to take on your foes from the get-go. Overall, I really enjoyed Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think if you go in expecting regular Mario antics, you're going to be really confused and possibly disappointed, but as someone who grew up playing strategy games, I really loved my time with this one. And I really do mean my time. I took a horrifically long time deciding who I wanted to fight with and how.
As a long-time Rabbids fan and apologist, I can't wait to see how this one fares when it's released on August 29. Stay tuned to GameSpot for everything else Mario and Rabbids, and thanks so much for watching.